you have to execute it with a passion. If you don't have a passion, you will burn out. To stop that, you need some kind of leverage. Leverage your passion.
On this episode of the Liberty Ventures podcast, I talk with Anar Alizamanli from Azerbaijan. Now, Anar's background is diverse. He's trained as a lawyer. He lived in China for a long time. He has operated as a COO. He's an investor, and he runs an accelerator program, with his purpose in life being to create the first unicorn and decacorn from Azerbaijan. Anar, thank you for joining the podcast today and sharing what's going on in Azerbaijan, everything that you're doing with the rest of the ecosystem.
Thank you, Alexander, for inviting. Alexander, we have met so recently, and I feel like I've known you for a long time. It's because we have a connection, a lot of different connections, like successful SFL connection, which is far deeper. So thank you for inviting me today, and I hope today we gonna catch on and what are very interesting topics and points.
Well, I know we are, Anar, and I feel like we've gotten to know each other so deeply, so quickly as well, and want to give everyone else here the opportunity to learn more about your background before we dive into all the amazing things you're up to. So share your story. What's led to who you are and what you're doing today?
Absolutely. So, as you said, I'm an attorney. I've studied law. I have 3 degrees, 2 master's degree, which I got in China, and the other one was in Azerbaijan. And you can ask me how you got into the exploration or startup business. I get into the exploration of startup business 2 or 3 years ago when I started helping the local exploration center. When I thought that it was a great opportunity to learn more about the innovations and etc. And over the time, I found myself, as I said, running the acceleration program myself, being an investor, having the angel investor club, and having my own stock. This happened very quickly in the last 2 years only. And prior to that, as I said before, we have a great connection of SFL. I was a proud local coordinator from Azerbaijan, Students for Liberty, European Students for Liberty, which I was a great time. And we visited Germany together in the Gummersbach in the yearly retreat. And knowing like-minded people, getting to know them, talking to others, created a lot of resonance in my life. And after that, I went to China. I studied there 3 or 4 years, which kind of made me understand that the innovation goes a long way, and the other countries, even Europe, Azerbaijan, and the Caucasus, there's a long way ahead. And I'm trying to have my 2 cents. I'm trying to have my piece here in this cake, and hopefully we will do great things. And in our accelerator, in our ecosystem generally, we have one goal, bringing and creating, helping one startup to be a unicorn, decacorn and megacorn. So let's see. That's my KPI for the next few years. So yeah, if I do that, we can do that, I will be successful enough.
So I love that goal, building unicorns and decacorns out of Azerbaijan. I'm curious, I don't know this. How many unicorns and decacorns have come out of Azerbaijan so far?
0. And that's the mission.
Okay, so you're looking to be the first. I love that. You come from a legal background and you studied over in China. Now you're building the startup ecosystem in Azerbaijan. Why that pivot, or how did those previous experiences inform you deciding to make building unicorns and decacorns out of Azerbaijan your new life purpose?
Because I started my experience, I got into the consulting. So when you are in consulting, you realize that you're not only legal consultant, you're also business consultant, strategical consultant. You help them to go somewhere. You help them to find the employee. And after that, I helping Acceleration Center to run a couple of cohorts, participating in a few of them. I found myself, okay, let's do, and we have an opportunity at the Design Technology Center. They offered me to run this program, and I quickly accepted it. And since then, I don't feel it's a pin-up. It's a great addition, because during this time, I try to be very structured as a lawyer, and I try to give all the startups, all the other small businesses, to give a head start in terms of legal structuring, business consultancy that I have kind of acquired over the years.
So you found yourself giving business advice in the course of your legal consulting and the work that you're already doing. And when did you decide it was time for you to just focus on that instead? Why not just continue with the legal advice and some business advice on the side?
I can say that I do give legal advice today as well. So it's not that I left it. It's just like now acceleration program takes a lot of my time. So we have a very limited time. We are human beings. We have only 40 hours a week if you have a normal person. But as you know, you and I and many others in the ecosystem, we work kind of like 100 hours a week. So we have only 100 hours, and I can dedicate 40, 50 of that to acceleration, 20 to 30 to my own startup. And there's only so much left that I can give to the legal advice as well. But every day we have new businesses, we have new startups that I help them in terms of not only legal, I try to help them in networking as well. Over the years, as a lawyer, I kind of developed interesting skills. One of them is a networking. It's like as a lawyer, as a consultant, you have to go out and talk to people. You have to, kind of forget the shame, forget the kind of trouble talking to others, because some people get intimidated talking to others. Some people kind of scared to talk and kind of create something like new businesses and ideas. So I don't have that kind of fear. I try to transmit that to others.
That is fantastic advice for anyone listening who has that fear, anyone who's introverted or just feels uncomfortable going out networking. It's so important to being successful in really any industry, but especially in business. If you're starting a business, you need to be able to network with potential investors, clients, team members. If you're an investor, you need to know how to build relationships with companies that you want to invest in and the founders and build up strong relationships there. What advice do you have for anyone who has that fear in their head from networking and building those relationships? What do you do that's made you so successful with that?
So I kind of forced myself. When I was like university student, like 10 years ago, I was very shy, as everyone was. But I kind of, started, I had a few friends that helped me to get out of that, circle. And I found myself talking to others. And, networking when you're a university student is talking to some girls. And I started to talk to girls. And when I got to the business, I realized that talking to customers and the business people is almost identical to talking to girls. It's always you're selling something, you sell your time, you selling your kind of enthusiasm to spend time. And in the business, you kind of sell your time to get something in that idea. Try to give value to get back. So it kind of, you have to talk. If you're having struggles, first step should be starting today. Now, just go out, talk to anyone. It doesn't have to be the business. It doesn't have to be anyone. Just go talk to some random people. You don't have to do, rude or something. Just talk to them, just their experience for it. And if you are a startup, just talk to your customers. Call them. If there is someone registered using your product, just talk to them. Write them, call them, and see them what's their experience. In the best case scenario, just go and meet them.
And that is invaluable advice. I find it to be the same thing. There's no silver bullet to this. It's really simple. You just put yourself out there. You just get over the fear that most people have. Stick your hand out, introduce yourself, or send a cold email and start talking to people. And it's amazing to see what kind of positive response you get from that.
And accept the rejection. Accept the rejection. Some people don't like you. Some people will be, no, it doesn't well. You will be rejected. Just understand. But it's not a big deal.
I often say to people, if you're not getting rejections, you're not putting yourself out there enough. It's going to happen. If you don't hear that, you haven't introduced yourself to enough people. Simple as that.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, let's talk about Azerbaijan. No unicorns have come out of there, you said. Why do you think that is? And what are you doing to change that?
So it's largely because of the mindset. So we have it's not a problem. We have a very different mindset. And because of the geopolitical issues and many others, and the local young people, as always, feel frustrated doing the business. And over the years, we have tried to explain them and show them that you don't have to, border yourself with the geolocation that we live in. This is not only the jurisdiction that we have to work. Just create something, and there is a great source. There is a great website. It's Google. It has been created in 20 years ago. We can build products in there. You can put there, you can create a company. We're just trying to get this information to the farthest place that possible, so that everybody should know that there is a liberty in the internet. There is no political problem. There is no, financial problem if you will face in terms of, many things. Just open, bring some value to someone, and that person is going to pay you. Over the time, you're going to increase the number of people who's going to pay you, and in the end, you will have a successful company. But you have to create some value. What's the value? We're just trying to teach them how to bring value to others, to the society.
I love that. That the most important thing with entrepreneurship is the mindset. And you can tell which entrepreneurs are more likely to succeed, and I dare say will succeed. Maybe it's not with that particular business if it's the wrong idea, but they will succeed at building businesses if they've got a mindset of persistence, of creating value, and of making it work. And that's the biggest thing that holds most people up from succeeding in entrepreneurship.
And one thing I can add here is that Azerbaijan has also seen many startups coming up. And all the time it has been a very great business. Not many people, it wasn't, the viral state. It wasn't the hype. So that's why now not many people working. Now we're trying to create this hype. So a lot of people will join it. And for that, we have to show the success story. We show the Azerbaijani people who has been in the international startups, with their international co-founders, who created great products and became successful people. And last week, as I said before the podcast, we had our own podcast as well with the Market Success Azerbaijani founders. We're working in the US, providing AI-generated chatbots to many countries. But, we're trying to show these people, if we're going to create the success story, they will see that, yes, this works. Because without the proof, you cannot show people that you can do that.
I love that. So how are you helping to change that mindset with the entrepreneurs that you work with in Azerbaijan?
So currently, in the LTC Acceleration Center and many others, there's Sabah Hub, there is Innoland, there is many other ABB Innovation. There is like international companies, big holdings that create internal corporations that do internal corporate innovation programs. In these programs, we try to engage employees of them. We try to matchmake. So there's a university student, we try to matchmake with the corporate worker, so they can get together, create a new product, and bring value to other companies, B2B, SaaS, or many others. In this regard, we do acceleration program, incubation program, and we proactively invest in them. We invest in teams, we invest in people, we try to bring people cheap money. Because as you know, Silicon Valley got here today because of the cheap money. There's accessible financial resources. That's why we're trying to create an ecosystem, an environment where you can be able to get financing. If there's financing, there will be great products for sure.
Now, most of the ecosystem that you've been building out is within Azerbaijan, if I'm correct. Is that right?
So we do local startups usually, but in our local angel investor club, we kind of invite international startups as well to kind of matchmake with the local investors, and international startups is going to be successful. So it's not a one-way street. We do both. But international startup needs to meet the investors. Local startup needs to meet the international investors.
So how do you find the right matches for people? You gave one example, connecting students with the right corporate partners, but even within that, how do you know if a match is going to be successful or not? Or what indicators do you look for making the right matches?
So it's not a 100% thing, Most of the times it doesn't work. But there are some things that if there is a similar mindset, similar passion. The other thing I look for in the team is like the passion for all the co-founders to solve the problem. If they have a passion altogether, if you're not bound by the by this startup with the idea of being the famous, for example, being a millionaire, being startup founder or something like that. If they disregard this, if they focus on the problem and see the value when they give the product to the customers and they see the happiness in the eyes of the customer, that should kind of excite them. That's always, in all teams, I say that, guys, if you're not going to have the passion, who's going to have it? No investor is going to invest in you without any passion. You have to work, not 5 days a week, you have to work 8 days a week. If there is no certain 8 days, it doesn't matter. You have to work that one. So the only thing I try to give them is the passion. They have to understand that. They have to show the passion.
That's worth repeating for everyone here as well, that the passion is the most important thing. For the founders to be committed to what they're building up, to partnerships between investors and founders, that to make sure they're aligned and that they're excited and eager to work on this with each other, and especially to get through the challenging times. Not if they face challenging times, but when they do, because that's a given in building up businesses.
Absolutely. Most of the people kind of focus on the idea. I have this idea, I want to do this. Like, as everyone said that, even Paul Graham from Y Combinator, and everyone said that idea doesn't it doesn't matter. Nobody cares about your idea. The powerful and the 99% of the startup is the execution. And you have to execute it with a passion. If you don't have a passion, you will burn out. To stop that, you need some kind of leverage. Leverage is your passion.
I love that. Your passion is your leverage. The way that you've set up the LDZ accelerator program, I think, is really interesting. And we were talking about this before, and we've been talking about this for months. Principal Business is launching its first accelerator with a lot of inspiration, actually, from the way you've set this up. I'd love it if you could share the way you designed the curriculum here and share what kinds of companies are going through this in Azerbaijan.
In the first batches, what we did the very simple thing that everyone did, like 3 months, weekly mentorship, specific mentorship, and then we understood that it doesn't work, because 3 months, when you accept the startup, you're not sure that they're going to finish it, because what we have seen in the end, 50% of the startup, when they joined it, they left on the way. So that's why we thought that, okay, how we can change that? To change that, we kind of added 1 more month. When you get to the job, there was like a probationary period. It's like 1 month, we have a probationary period with them. We talk to them. We kind of do the mentorships again. We do the sessions with them. We try to understand them, understand the product, see the passion in them. We see that if they have they dedicate their time, if they go, if they do what they kind of do, what did they put in the KPI for themselves. If they don't do it, if they don't execute their KPIs, in the end of the month, we say that, okay, guys, last month we had 30 days. 30 days is a long time. You have not reached your customers. You have not tested your product. You have not launched your product. That's why we're going to keep you up. So that's our period. One of the 1 month, we have a 3 month dedicated period where we work only with the very few teams and only talking with them weekly, creating weekly KPIs, creating weekly to-do lists for them so we can catch up with them. And proactively, our team find them the customers as well. So if you have a B2B product, we find you a customer, a company, a person. They're going to come to you, they're going to use your product, and you're going to test your product. So that's the idea. In the 3 months, we help you to be prepared for the investors. You have to know the jargon, like ecosystem jargon, like investing. What's the vesting schedule? What's your unique value proposition? What's your UCP, UVP? Like lots of terms that no one knows in this ecosystem, at least in Azerbaijan, because there's not many business schools here. So we try to give them the 3 months MBA. So that's what I can. So it's a 3 months MBA. So you pass through this MBA, you get the critical knowledge, and you face your investors. I'm not 100% that you're going to be successful, but you will be better off.
There's no guarantee of success with anything in life, but I would actually say what you're doing is more than a 3 month MBA. You're not just putting entrepreneurs through a standardized program or curriculum. It's very personalized and tailored. You're identifying the things that each individual company needs to work on, and with individual mentors, helping them solve those problems. And I didn't even realize that you were helping them find customers during the program to get feedback and improve it. That's something actually that we've been hearing from our advisors and the entrepreneurs that are applying for our program that they need help with as well. So we've been talking about incorporating too. I am so excited to hear that you've been doing that already as well.
Yes, I told the companies, I said that there's a great product. I believe you will need it. And I set up the batches. I set up the meetings. I try to join the meetings as well. I kind of be the fractional sales engine and the fractional CEOs for that. Because that's what we have to do. As acceleration center, we have to do the fractional stuff, like fractional CEO, fractional CLO, legal matters. They don't have to, hire any business consultant like a legal advisor. They don't have to hire financial stuff. They don't have to hire specific designers to do, the design of the business. We do all this like legwork. We say them, guys, go find a customer. Go build a product they need. Don't care about your financials. We're going to do the pricing with you. Don't care about the legal stuff. I will be personally going to incorporate your company, do all the legal stuff, corporate, and don't care about finding the customers as well. Because we're going to try to, the holdings and other ecosystem players, we're going to try to find your customers. At least one. We're going to get you into the room. So yes, that's a great way. And I always want to see in all acceleration centers to be more like a studios, not like we gave you the mentorship, we kind of did one session with you, you did not succeed, this is not my way. But personally, I see their success is my success. I see it very personal. I have to see them, I want to see them to be successful selling their products. Without that, I did a bad job.
Now, that is an invaluable offering for entrepreneurs. Because too many entrepreneurs don't talk to customers when they're developing their product. This is one of the most common challenges. They come up with the idea in a vacuum. Everyone's going to love this just because they've created it, instead of getting that feedback from potential customers. But even in talking with those customers, I find they don't always ask the right questions. They don't know how to get the best feedback. So when you set up these meetings and when you've got your companies talking with potential customers, what do you see the good ones doing to make the most out of that early customer relationship? And where do you see some entrepreneurs go astray and not getting the most out of it?
So the startups and the people who listen, I've seen many people in startups when I met them and when I talk to them, when we have sessions, when I say something, they don't listen. They kind of try to defend themselves. But what they have to understand that my advice might not be great. I might be wrong. I get it. And in every session, in the first minutes, I say that, guys, I can be wrong. I'm a person. I'm not like a looking here or something. But what I say you don't have to defend yourself. Just take it, analyze it, and find something good with it. If I am wrong, don't do anything. Just not off. There will be someone who's going to say the same thing as me, because I'm not unique. There are people who's going to say the same thing I say. What's the value of something else? Just listen. Be coachable. We're not doing video in harm. I'm not trying to harm you or harm your business. I don't want to touch your baby. And my friend, the founder I talked to, we had a session in the podcast as original founder. They working in the US. He has a great say word. He said that your baby is ugly. Understand that. Accept that you have an ugly baby. If you're gonna say that no, my baby is beautiful, nobody cares. There is someone who's gonna say your baby is ugly. I get that. It's okay.
It's okay, and you have to embrace that because that's the only way you're going to be able to make it beautiful, to make it something that they want to buy. Because at the end of the day, if they're not buying the product or service you're offering, you don't have a viable company.
Not at all. Not at all. You have to listen. You have to be coachable. In every startup like the first thing I assess in the startup, it's not the idea, it's the team and their coachability. If they're not the coachable, they can go find themselves angel investors. Just go find yourself an angel investor who's going to invest in your company. Don't come to us and waste our resources on you. You have to listen. You have to be coachable. If you're not coachable, how am I going to coach you? Why? I don't accelerate you. I don't help you.
So that's great advice for entrepreneurs. But now I am curious, even just accepting companies into the accelerator or finding companies to invest in, from that perspective, what are some of the big things that you're looking for people to join your program? How do you make decisions about which businesses to work with? Perhaps beyond what you just said, that you're looking at the founding team and their passion and their coachability.
Yes. So I'm a lawyer, as I said before, a million times. And, there is a saying that every lawyer says he's a lawyer like 10 times in the meeting. So I'm a lawyer. So what I see, the first thing, I don't understand the hardware. So there's a hardware startup. I cannot assess you. I don't know who's your customer. I have zero information if it's a hardware. So I don't accept hardware startups. I do not accept these things that I don't understand. Because if I don't understand it, I'm not going to be helpful for you. That's why you will be better off without me. That's the first thing. Second one, the team structure. If they have a good team, they have good structure, good understanding and the mindset and the vibe, I really appreciate them because they might do the wrong product now, but what they're going to do next is going to be great. So I try to meet people. I try to meet good people, coachable people, as I said before. And yeah, it's like 70% of it. Idea is like 10 or 20 because I can always, help them pivot. I've seen so many startups in the incubation come with an idea. So in the agriculture or something, I try to give them hundreds of ideas in the business because when I ask you, Alexander, as well, like you can give me like 50 ideas. You can give me 50 great ideas that everyone can love it. But who's doing it? No one. So I try to give them, guys, there are millions of ideas. Why are you stuck in this? Just pivot. If the tool is good, they're going to do it. If not, you're just going to be the stubborn and do what they say before.
I love it, Anar. So last question to respect your time. Is there anything that we haven't covered so far that you think either investors in the Liberty Ventures ecosystem or entrepreneurs in the ecosystem should keep in mind in getting more involved in this kind of space?
Of course. So I believe if they want to just get started, for example, my 2 cents here, although I'm a very far place, I don't have $1 billion startup. Maybe I'm not in a place that I can advise so many people. But what I've seen from my humble experience is that if you want to do something that kind of excites you and do something that your customer is getting excited as well. If you do this match, you will have maybe $1 billion company very soon, 2 years in a short lifespan. And they find good people, right people. Because if you're going to create a great team, it's not only going to be about your company. It's not going to be your startup. It's going to be your next 5 years. And always say to yourself that, do I want to dedicate my 5 years into this? Do I want to spend my 5 years with this thing? Be sure about that because we have a very short lifespan. As a person, we study till 21. We go, we just ramble around till 24 years old. We just go to corporate work. We have only maybe 10 years to be 100% productive. After 10 years, the 35, there's you have to get married. You don't have to get married, but you will get married at some point. Maybe you will have a child. It's just so many problems. You're going to get used to the adult life, and it's going to be sometimes late. But if you are in the 40s, just don't wait. Do something. Find a good team, find a great people, find the passion people, and do something great. Maybe as a hustle, but you have to start somewhere. And thank you for the invitation, Alexander. We have a very short time as well. What we haven't talked about today is I would like to, from this platform, invite everyone to, see our startups from the region, from all the viewers, all the people who's going to watch this, to come to this region as well, because we have great people, great products, great ecosystem we try to build. And it's going to be a lot cheaper here. It's not like in Azerbaijan, the startups are raising like 100K, 200K, 300K, maybe $500,000, not more. But in the US, they do the pre-seed in like $3-4 million. We don't have it. It's going to be a lot cheaper, a lot of great people. And, human capital is good and it's going to get better. And you will get to see a different perspective on how the world works. So I would like to invite everyone, and as Alexander is being invited as well to our flagship event in June, Baku Investment Day. You are welcome to participate as well. Just hit me up. Let's sort your logistics and just bring you here and meet you to all the people who's trying to build this ecosystem.
So to recap, for whether it's networking or starting a business or starting to invest, your advice is just get started. I think that's awesome. And if you're considering getting started, consider Azerbaijan. That is such a great invitation. I would love to see anyone else listening join us at Baku Investment Day in June, which I'm so excited for. And if people wanted to learn more about the companies that you're working with, or the accelerator, or the opportunities in Azerbaijan, how can they get in touch with you, Anar?
So they can hit me up on LinkedIn. They can check our website as well, startup@lopizade.us. And I can send them all the information they need, all the startups we do. And, I can share them everything they want. And I would love to have a meeting with them as well, just explain them in person. How can I be helpful to them? How can I find them the right match?
Fantastic. Well, Anar, thank you not just for joining this podcast, but for all the amazing work that you're doing. I'm so excited for us to do more together.
Thank you very much for the invitation, Alexander. And I'm kind of looking forward to keenly to see you here, meet you in person, and talk about the Students for Liberty a lot. And, do the great catch up here. And thank you for doing what you do as well. Liberty Ventures is great, bringing up the angel investors, the investors, and investing in the startup who's been the liberalization of the industry. I believe I always try to embrace that atmosphere as well. Internet is a liberty. We have to embrace it. We have to do the things that people love. We don't have to be do the business as normal. We have to embrace the liberty, do good to the society.
Thank you, Anar. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll talk to you soon.